us most, we bring you more. Stay with us, stay in the loop. Straight talk, clear view, one place for the story, one voice for the truth. Patriot Nation News, PNN, we bring it through. Patriot Nation News, what you need right now for you. Patriot Nation News, hear it loud, clean and true. PNN, PNN, Patriot Nation News. Voices rise, the facts roll in. Every angle, every win. City halls and highway miles. Real lives, real news, real time. Stay with us, stay in the loop. Straight talk, clear view, one place for the story, one voice for the truth. Patriot Nation News, PNN, we bring it through. Patriot Nation News, what you need right now for you. Patriot Nation News, hear it loud, clean and true. PNN, PNN, Patriot Nation News. When the day gets loud, we cut through the crowd. When the feed runs wild, we keep it straight and style. Patriot Nation News, PNN, we bring it through. Patriot Nation News, what you need right now for you. Patriot Nation News, hear it loud, clean and true. PNN, PNN, Patriot Nation News. Patriot Nation News. See you next time. No.
All right, Patriot Nation News, PNN, our new news series. We've kind of taken our other ones and moved it into this, and this is what it will be going forward. And we are glad to be here. We're going to be covering the election coverage. I've got one channel that's acting up, so if you see me looking over at that, I'm not really sure. It's showing me that it's broadcasting, but I'm getting some weird things out of it. But other than that, everything looks to be up and running. We're glad to be here. The elections, the polls have closed in the Eastern time zone, and there's a lot to be decided. Georgia is always a hotbed. There's been controversy. I've seen the videos out there, the lawsuit that was put forth about Brad Raffensperger and about Access, and Burt Jones and others have spoke out about this. Hello, Dusty. How you doing? Good evening to you, and we appreciate you saying hey. Dave, who did you vote for? And who did I vote for? That's private, man. That's private to me. You know. No, I'll share. I don't care. You know, and it was a couple of things that in the U.S. Senate representative, a lot of people voted for Buddy Carter. I voted for Mike Collins. His son is in my front yard, so it's not hard to figure out who I voted for on that. To be running against the Democrat, which would be John Ossoff, who has unopposed. He's obviously the incumbent. You know, and I did not vote for Rick Jackson for governor. I did not do that, and I certainly didn't vote for Brad Raffensperger. So I didn't vote for those two. I did vote for Burt Jones. So there's been attack ads going back and forth, but I did vote for Burt Jones. For the lieutenant governor, I believe, and I'm trying to remember, I voted for Steve Gooch, and he probably won't win, but I like Steve Gooch. He's from the northeastern part of Georgia. He represents the Blue Ridge, Georgia area. I really like him. I've listened to him a lot over the last few years. And Blake Tillery's been spending big money out there, big money. His ads are running constantly, but I did vote for Steve Gooch. I don't just vote for who I think will win. I vote for the person that I believe is the person that I feel like I would have us to have in there. So we'll just have to keep getting down in there, and then we'll see. And I've got some local folks I voted for. There's quite a long list of things going, and around the nation. We're going to be focusing on Georgia, but we'll try to capture some of those things across the country as well as we look at the election. And I don't know why that. I may drop that and come back in. I don't know. Maybe it'll come up. I think I finally got it to come up. I don't know why my one of my Rumble channels is acting. This last week or so, we have had. So if you're on SF podcasting, I don't know what you may be seeing it. I'm not getting a good signal from that. I don't know why. We'll let it see if it encodes and steps up. It was on, then I started bumping it forward, and I think I probably messed it up. So if you're seeing me, that's good. If you're not, that's not a good thing. So, but the other Rumble channel looks good. So the one you're on, Broski, and on Instagram, we thank you for being in there already. Two Kind Records, appreciate that. If however long you stay on, we are on Substack Live, Kick Live, Twitch Live, X Live, Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, Telegram Live. What else? There's a couple other things. I'm missing them all. Hello, Brother Cook. And my chat still messed up in StreamYard. I think it's the Facebook has got an issue that's blocking that. I'll work on it. I tried to reset it today. And so if I don't type anything, and I don't usually do that anyway. I just usually recognize what you said. I'll put it on screen. But when I'm by myself, I usually don't chat. I'll just say it on screen. So we'll figure that out as we go. One of my favorite, and Broski, you wouldn't know this guy. You know what? A used car salesman who's a wrestler as well, that cracks me up. And I have been laughing ever since he ran the first time, but I've been seeing the little videos today from the local commissioner race. This is local in Ringo, Georgia. And this guy, he has the Dusty Rhodes look going on, I guess. And he's been cracking me up. But I'll give him credit. He has visited around all the different precincts, and he's done a live video or done a video. I guess it was live. I think he did live from each and every one. And he has a real funny platform where he's going to cancel all property taxes and stuff. I don't think he's got a snowball's chance, but hey, the people will decide. So yeah, I'm going to check that real quick and just make sure that that's working. But we'll get a look. I am at the Georgia Secretary of State's office. I am looking at the results. And, of course, it's going to take a little bit of time for some of those to start filtering in. I would suspect about 30 minutes after the hour, we should start seeing some of that begin to come in, and we'll see. So it updates live as they get it. So we'll look at that. We'll also be looking at some others. There's a lot of governor races around the country, and I'm quite interested in some of those in the primaries. Who will be running against each other, Democrat and Republican, in the general election? I mean, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. I think South Carolina as well are all running for the next to be the next governor, and so we'll see. Traditional conservative, especially Alabama. And Florida has went that way as well. So we will keep up with the election as well and some other results, and see some of those. We'll look at Tennessee, and we'll look at some of the others they have, and then we'll try to catch up on what's going on nationally as well. So they know. I mean, we've got the Secretary of State's office. Of course, Brad Raffensperger ran for the other one. Happy Tuesday, POF Racing. APOF, yes. APOF active. Got a new show coming. The Team POF, Dusty and Desi show. Be a lot of racing and the crazy world of whatever is going on there with them. So we'll look at these things, and we'll just have fun and talk about it. It's been a pretty good day. I've had a pretty good day and got a few things accomplished. Um, I like the Paul for racing. I like y'all coming in there and talking. Yes, that's great. Um, but that race is going to be interesting too. Between on the Republican side, you've got Sterling and King and Metz, Fleming. Probably the name that most people recognize is Vernon Jones. Is running. I've seen his ads. Um, yeah, he's got his own show. We got to get it. We got to get it. The stuff up, for it. But yeah, he's got his own show. Um, on the Democrat side, Secretary of State, um, kind of Sonnery, Ashling, Barrett, and Reynolds. We'll see who comes out on top on that. The Attorney General is Calcert and Strickland, and Burt Jones was calling on the Attorney General to get something done 2 days ago on this about this thing they were pulling in the, or at least they said he was. I'm not involved directly, but the access was denied, and they were calling him to do something because he's running for office, and so he's still in his role, but he's also running, and they thought that he was not being forthcoming and transparent is that word everybody talks about, not being transparent. Um, what is happening now as far as being in a precinct, and I have done that a number of times. So what happens is you get the last voter that's inside the door. There could still be people voting right now as long as they were inside the door. When they close those polls, they have to have the last voter that's going to come in, and after that, you're done. Once they clock them in, and anyway, probably mostly are done by now. Usually by about 5 after, there's nobody in there that's voting. We lock the doors. There's a lot of things that has to happen. The Dominion machine, the scanner, nobody likes that. I mean, a lot of people don't like that. But what happens with that is that uh, in Georgia, and I know in our county, and I can't speak across the whole state, but I'm saying in my county, what they do is we work in a team of 3. There has to be 3 people there, manager included. We shut that scanner down. There's a procedure, and you print your 3 tapes. That tells the results. One goes on the door, then others. One will go with that memory. We take out the memory cards from that, and it goes into. There's a lot of documentation that happens, and you have to kind of be really getting after that because they're going to come for it. So you have election officials that come and with a police escort. And so there is a chain of chain of custody, a transfer that occurs from our precinct to them as we're transferring that over. So each one, it goes into a locked bag that has a seal on it, and that goes back to election headquarters with that memory of that 1 or 2 scanners, depending on how many you had. Some are big enough they would have 2. Some just have 1. Even the small ones will have 2 if it's a really big election. They might have had 2 today. I don't know because I early voted. But when I early voted, because it was an early vote and they only have 2 precincts open, they have 2. So I was able to put it in the one on the left, if I remember right. And of course, you can see the number. So that's some of the things that are happening right now when you're looking at the results or what is happening immediately. And they get those up and start uploading those into this Georgia Secretary of State system. I'm not there when they do that. I just know what they do, and then those numbers will start coming in and we'll start getting, like 1% of the vote in and stuff like that. So I don't really anticipate too much coming in. Some of them will upload really quickly. I mean, like you'll be shocked, but usually, and I don't have time to look at it. I mean, it ain't like we're checking things. We're busy. Even the tapes that are printed, I don't have time to look at that. So what usually when I get, sometimes it'll pop up on my phone on the way to the election office that they're already calling some winners, and I'll see that on my phone. But usually when I check those is when I walk out after we've delivered everything and we've checked everything in. That's usually when I start looking to see what's happened. So you are really laser focused on what you're doing. So God bless all those workers today. And I wanted to say, and I get some people. It was a report I read of somebody who said they walked in behind somebody. This was down in Georgia a bit. I can't remember. It might have been Cumming area. I don't remember. Well, they said the guy ahead of them said he couldn't vote. He'd early voted, and instantly that they were on the manager was on the phone with the elections office, get things straightened out. Now they're everybody immediately went. It's a steal. Blah blah blah. There's so many things that could have happened there. I can promise you that even though people say, and I don't know what happened to this, I wasn't there and I'm not involved, but I can tell you that being involved in an election in a precinct, there has been people walk in and thinking they need to vote and they've already voted, and they thought it was something else. They early voted and they don't remember it. It does happen. Uh, they hear about the thing again. What it is, they ride down the road, they see the signs, and they go, "Oh man, I got to vote. I don't want to miss this. This is the last day," and they forget that they've already voted. I have seen this many times. Now, if there was a mistake made, they will investigate that and figure out what happened. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't even know. People will say, "Oh, somebody went in and voted." I don't even think that could happen. It's just not going to show up. It would not, because of the IDs and things. That's not going to work. Somebody would have to have some stolen IDs or something. I think probably my explanation would be probably that this man, he just simply forgot. So many things happen with elections. People go to the wrong precinct. They get confused from early voting. They go to they'll know that there's and what'll happen is they'll say, "Well, the last election I voted here, and now you're telling me I can't vote here." And they go, "What it is, they voted early voting, and they go to the two open precincts that are open for that, and then they come to their precinct on election day. You go to the one you're assigned to on election day, and then they're getting mad because they say, 'Hey, last time I voted,' they go to the wrong one, and they say, I should be able to vote," or vice versa, and they'll show up, and they've early voted, and they say, "You've already voted," and they say, "No, I didn't vote," and then you start talking to them, and the next thing you know, they go, "Oh yeah, I did," or you have absentee ballot, and some people do that and absolutely just forget. They think it's a new election, and what happens is a confusion happens because when you have these special elections, and a special election is a special election, it has nothing to do with the primary or the general election or anything, and that will happen too, and people get confused about that. It happens. But then you got people listening, they go, "Oh, there's the steal, there's the problem." And I know we've had problems. I'm not denying that at all. We've had problems in Georgia. But absolutely, there are sometimes, many times, legit answers that people don't take the time to know, because she can't stay there and figure it out. She had voted and left. So now, and she was fair about it. She said, "I really don't know. They were working on it. Kudos to the election staff." And so she was not. But then other people were picking it up and going, "There you go. People are still in the vote, blah, blah, blah." It's crazy that more Democratic voters don't speak out about how elected Democrats think voter ID shouldn't be required, and the reason why. There is a video that's out there that Danny Bonbons put out today, of a lady who was addressing a group, and you really need to see that video. She really takes it to task, other voters, and about how silly it is what they're saying. This lady didn't mince no words. No words. It should be required listening. Amazing. And she called out everybody. And I love it. I'm going to have to watch that one again. But it is, if you want to see that, it's Dan Bongino posted that. How did they get away with blacks not getting mad at them for saying that? Mind-boggling to me. And I'll tell you what it is, and I'm not an expert. I think that it is it's just generational that they have and I get it because of way back. There's no trust. And they feed off of that. It's a fear. It's like this. We have the freedom. Humans are interesting individuals anyway. I mean, humans, we're so susceptible to the tricks and of wordsmithing and all that. I'll give you an example. If today we have free liberty to go to church, a lot of churches are about flat empty. If tomorrow somehow it got out there in the world that people are saying they're going to deny you the right to go to church, you would see such a movement in America where they would be packed for about 2 weeks. Everybody said, "You're not going to stop me from going to church," and blah blah blah. It's been free the whole time. It's still free. You can go to church, but they get caught up in that, and they again. I don't listen to the dribble. I don't listen to the lies. Listen. Uh, I've been lied to as a voter. I've heard stuff put out there, and I'm thinking, where do you get this crap? Like, this is not even true. Working in elections has taught me a lot of that. There are people who say things, and they absolutely do not know what they're talking about. There are people that have uncovered bad things across the nation. I applaud them. We should always be asking the questions. The problem is we got people run with a little bit of information, and then they blast. They spread it across like wildfire, and then distrust takes over. And people say, "Well, I might as well not even vote. It don't count. It don't this." I can tell you, many elections have been won by one vote, and people, people. They. I mean, we know that only about 30. It'll be a little higher because this is the midterms. But if we break 35% on any of this, I'd be of eligible voters in my county. I would be shocked. I hope it's 60 or 70%. When a president elects, you can get up to those kind of numbers sometimes, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll break 50% of the. I do hope that, but the numbers have gotten bad, and they know they play into that. So then they just get a few more people mad and get them to come out and vote their way, then they win. And it's just they play on old information, and they take a little bit of stuff and they twist it just enough to make people mad and get upset. Um, well, and if you remember back, Mr. Bad Boy, what was the president? Oh my gosh, I just went blank. He said horrible things. He said horrible things about controlling that vote. What was the president right after JFK when he died? I just went blank. But anyway, he said horrible things, horrid things. What a bad president. They haven't said if one speaks out against their own people, that people ostracize them. And that is true too. It's, a lot of people, well, I know people. I'm saying a lot of it like I don't know. LBJ, thank you. Yes. What a putz. What a bad dude. And there's a lot of mystery, but maybe not so much mystery anymore. But a lot of people believe what they believe about him and what they say he did. But anyway, I know people that say they can't tell their family how they voted, or they would be kicked out of the family. NC Native, I don't know, man. Is Massey going to lose? There's a lot of talk about that. I I got to tell you, Broski, I was telling Biscuit Boy this offline, and you'll know what I'm talking about. On my phone, J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance was going to be speaking. This was a White House feed. I don't remember what I was on. I think I saw it through a news channel, but it was the White House feed, and not NC Native. No, NC Native was there. Now, I commented, I don't think I said God bless America, and people were talking about Massey. I'm loosely, as I'm working at my desk, I'm loosely looking over and checking the chat. And who rolls up in the chat with the same stuff that they say in the chat here? One of the Bert or Ernie, I don't know which one is which. I like to roll out of my chair. I was like, that looks like I've seen this person. I know who this is. Are you kidding me? Oh, I told Desiree we will do shirts for our podcast. When we get them made, we're going to do red and black shirts. Well, yeah, that would work. We do have a store, by the way, that we can put them in. We've got to update our store. But yeah, be proactive, be pushing the envelope. APOF on the march. I was there singing back and forth. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, man. Bert. It was Bert. Sure enough, I sent the evidence to Biscuit Boy. I said, would you check this out? It feels like deja vu. I was like, no matter where I go, and I jump in the chat. It was the same stuff. Awesome, man. And I swear I'm going to send your shirts, man. I'm going to do it. I know you're thinking he's never going to send our shirts. I've got them over here in the box, and I'm going to get my son to help me. We've just, man, my brain is. We have had a lot going on, but I've got everybody their shirts except you guys. I've got to do that. I've been on other channels chats with them, and yes, it's the same stuff. And this was my only point is come up with something new. Yeah, I've heard that. We have had great conversations, and that's what frustrates me about things that have nothing to do with that. And I mean, I'm not trying to tell people how to think. I mean, that's freedom, baby. If you want to, all I'm saying is that, okay, but that's all you got. You're so much smarter than that. You have so much more to give. Okay, I'm not trying to change your mind. If they don't like that's not my job. I'm not here to browbeat this is not shock jock stuff. I'll tell you how I feel. You tell me how you feel. It's an exchange of ideas. That's freedom, baby. But I don't like told that, I can't have an opinion, or, your opinion sucks, or you're stupid, or you're this or that. Okay, well, I am, but come up with something different. Tell me how I suck different. Let's talk about music or sports or whatever. It's always that. I just want to see a growth. Just give me more. I'm not Bob, and what about Bob? I need more. Help me. Baby stepping. I can't even get the baby steps in. Hey, Jake from the great state of Mississippi. Thank you for the like and share. Dave is awesome. But there's a lot of people that disagree with me there. Yes, I'm still going to be doing a wrestling show. I've actually reformatted that. That will be popping up in the next week or so. I'm bringing stuff back. Yeah, it is live. I am here, Jake. It is. I've got an idea on that, how I want to do that. I've been kind of struggling with that, how I want to do that. And I've been bringing shows back up slowly, as well as development of new material. And we're starting to crank it. We're starting to crank it up. It's like one of those old cars you got to crank. We're starting to crank them out and get them up and going. Excited about it. We love our new First Light show. We love the PNN. We love the Wolf Nation sports. We love the racing out. We love all that stuff. We love the history music. And we got new shows that are coming with the puppets, and should be fun. We'll have a lot of fun with stuff with that. NC says, used to live in a gated community, but then I got released on. Hey, man, I need those laughs. I want to show you a picture, man. This meant a lot to me. Someone sent me today. And it really was a blessing. And they used AI. They took some different pictures, but if you would like to know, I figure out what I did with it. I put pictures everywhere, and then I can't find them. It's just one picture. I'm not showing you the family photo album, but I do want to show you this one. They took a couple of different pictures, and this is I won't even be able to look at it long because it's very emotional, but this is AI of me and my family. That's me and my wife who just recently died, and my two sons. And yes, my son has on prison because that's the picture they got. He's still in prison. He's got to get out, and I'll pray for him. But this is my oldest, my youngest, me and my wife, and those are that's very precious to me. But that's and that's not the grandkids also. That's me, my wife, and our sons. Is our show is going to be for dirt racing shows? Is that a question, or you're just making a statement? Our show is going to be, yeah. Well, it's a part of that dirt racing family. The SFP Racing Hour, Dirt Report, all that, it will fall under that. We have little umbrellas through that. And yes, folks, I'm talking elections, and we do not see any results yet. Well, thank you for that, NC. We dress up fairly well. We're not too backwood, No, those are precious people, and we've had a great life. Hey, I've got your Wolf Nation coffee over here, Jake. I've got 6 or 8 different blends, and you're going to have to tell me which one you want to try. I've got the Bali blend. I've got the 6-bean. I've got the Mexico, the breakfast blend. Maybe Cowboy, I can't remember. So you name one. I don't have it in front of me. Hey, Daryl. Hey, man, that's great to hear, man. Hey, you do you, man. You get better. you know your spot is always here. It ain't going away. You come as you can. You are in the family. Midnight Rider is in the family. Just know that. And so I have people ask me all the time how you're doing. Some of you, I think, some of them have reached out to you, and I appreciate them. That's because we are family. And it was a great picture, Dave, you and your wife put up. And we look forward to having you back, man. There's a hole in the team. We can't fill that hole. It's not possible. As big a boy as Biscuit Boy is, he can't fill that hole. I miss your looking at him like, have you lost your mind? Look, I like that look. Mr. Chaos. I was just on with him. We recorded our morning, and I want you involved with that, Daryl. The first lot thing. That is absolutely right up your alley. I mean, like that's the home run swing, dude. Like, you're gonna be so good with that, and we'll have fun with it. God bless you, man. Again, we're starting to see a few things jump in now on the Secretary of State's office. This is only with 33 of 59, 159 count localities reporting. Right now, Mike Collins is leading by 32,000. He's got 32,408. I'll see if I can pop this on the screen. It's going to be showing. I'll just show you. Hopefully, it'll be big enough. And here is in Georgia. And there you go. Mike Collins, way ahead of Carter right now. There's a lot of counties to come in. This is early. Derek Dooley, Mr. Brian Kemp, Governor Kemp, out there rolling the Dooley train. The guys up at Killer Carl up in Pennsylvania, they used to laugh at me because they asked me what I thought of Derek Dooley. I said, dude cannot ever be elected to any election. I'll tell you why. He wore those orange pants at Tennessee when he coached there. As a Georgia boy, you'll never get my vote. They loved it. But yeah, he was out there. I saw one of his commercials today. Vote for Derek Dooley. Sorry, I don't care that your daddy was a world famous, legendary Georgia Bulldog coach. You're not winning, dude. It's not going to happen. Well, Kemp because he is termed out. I'm interested to see what he does next. Raffensperger is, and we're going to look at that. And by the way, Ossoff, who is unopposed, has 68,722 votes right now. Now it's 40 counties are reporting. Here is the governor race. The governor race. Here we go. Chris Carr, way down there. Look at this. Rick Jackson. Burt Jones is actually in the lead by a slim margin. And where is Brad Raffensperger? He's right there, folks. He's right there. Yeah. I love it. So we see that. This is going to be, Jackson come in spending all that money, but Burt Jones has been throwing it too. So this is going to be the one to watch. Chris Carr, you're not going to make it. Brad Raffensperger, you're not going to make it. They'll be running against the Democrat, which is right now, it's Keisha Lance Bottoms, the former mayor of Atlanta, GA. He's got 47,000 votes. There's nobody in their hemisphere. She's going to blow this one away. I don't see anybody overcoming that. I mean, my gosh, there's nobody within 40,000 votes of Keisha Lance Bottoms. So she is the Democrat one there. Lieutenant Governor, this is interesting. A lot of people, this vote is very balanced, very, very balanced. John F. Kennedy, that's a kind of name you remember. A little bit out front, 22,000. Blake Tillery, all that money, 5,000 behind almost, 5,000 behind almost with 40 counties reporting. Lance Bottoms. It's been a good day today, APOF. We had a good day at work. I was able to, I think, minister a little bit today with a young man. And he ministered to me in some ways too, so that's good. So this is very about Steve Gooch, and like I said, he's already half behind. I like Steve Gooch. I did vote for him. On the Democratic side, it's fairly close between Parks and McLaurin, with slightly behind there Richard Wright. Secretary of State, Tim Fleming, way out front. Vernon Jones, I thought Vernon Jones would do fairly well in this race. The others are way behind. Way behind. On the Democratic side, Penny Brown Reynolds trouncing the opponents right now in that. Attorney General Strickland killing Kelser. Killing. And that can be said as well for the Democratic side. Tanya Miller is beating the socks off of Bob Tremmell, Robert Bob Tremmell. 48, almost 48,000 votes behind. Commissioner, so these are unopposed. Well, this one's not. It will be Tyler Harper running against whoever wins on that one. Commissioner of Insurance unopposed. So, for this one, they will run against, looks like, Keisha Sean Waits way out front on the Democratic side. State school superintendent Republican Richard Woods, the incumbent. I kind of figured he would walk the dog on this one. No big issues on that. He's been there a little bit. Lydia Powell out front on the Democratic side. Commissioner of Labor, unopposed Holmes, got 71,000 votes. Getting a lot of votes, a lot of what's out there. 100% of it because she's unopposed. Democrat side, a little closer, but Portia out front. So we'll look at some of that. I want to go down to the, let me see if I can get down here. I may have to pull it off screen to do that. Let me pull it off screen for a minute. I want to get down and we'll look at the 14th district. And hold on, I went past it. Because that's my area. And we'll look and see kind of what's going on. And we'll also look at the 53rd. The 53rd, what's going on. Let's see. State Center District. 14. It's not look right. State Senate. Maybe it is. Hold on here. Let me. That is not what I wanted to see. Oh, that's the representative. We'll look at that in a minute. I want to see the Senate. State Senate. Here we go. State Senate. State Senate. We'll find it, and we'll try to get caught up on what's going on with the state senate on that because there are some people running. It's pretty tight in one of the races up here, so we'll figure this out. State House representatives, that's the one I was looking for, and let me see if I can find that really quick. I may have to do it on a break and see because there's been a lot of money spent in that one too up here. I get flyers every day and text messages every day on this one. There, we have 159 counties in the state of Georgia, and it doesn't. When you think of the state, you don't think about being that many because these are big counties. Just shows you how big a state Georgia really is when you think about 159 counties. Pretty interesting. Yeah, I'll have to pull that out. I will pull that one back up. Let me pull up here. They may be able to find it right here a little quicker. Of course, these results were not working earlier. They're behind on the local TV. Secretary of State's is much more up to date, but it will give me what I'm looking for that we can pull some information from because this has been a pretty tight race up here. I will have to look for it on a break. So anyway. Bill Cowher used to coach the Steelers, yeah. Lance Bottoms always goes in the polls. You're a treasure, an absolute treasure. Let's see here. See if I can find it. Some of these are a lot of people running. You get in these primaries, and a lot of people are running. I mean, we go back to. Some of these races, there's still so many people that try to run, even though, because we have the special election, then you got all the people that's running again in the 14th. So, Georgia U.S. House, District 14. Let me see there. And I was our friend who Jenna, who was in that race and didn't win the race. She or the primary in that, she thought she could vote for one person and couldn't because she found out her property's, I guess, kind of on a dividing line for two different um, areas, and so she was asking people to vote for someone that she wasn't able to. And she said, "I did not know that." It's funny how that works sometimes. It really, really is. So we'll keep up to date with this, and we'll keep. Let me look for the 53rd real quick. 53rd. So many. I need to filter these. It's a lot to go through. Okay. All right. We'll get back at it. Anyway, I hope everybody's had a great day. I hope you got out to vote wherever you are if you're having elections there. And, take that right that you have to vote and exercise it. Thank you, Daryl, for the like on there. That's par for the corpse. Oh, you got to be a joy at parties. I got to tell you, you have got to be a joy at parties. We now have 47 localities reporting in as of 5 minutes ago, 47 out of the 159. There's a lot of them not even reported in yet. So Mike Collins is now leading by almost 19,000 votes over Buddy Carter. Derek Dooley's he's actually closing in on second place. He's probably down around Athens. Those votes are coming in. But right now, Mike Collins is killing it. This race between Burt Jones and Rick Jackson for the governor on the Republican side to be able to run in the general, it is very close. It is a slight edge to Jones, 43,380 to 41,796 right now. And Raffensperger's he's not in the same time zone. Again, John F. Kennedy is winning, although it is slim just a little, but not much. He's still for the lieutenant governor, leading in that. No changes there. Tim Fleming is still leading, but is tightened up a little bit. Vernon Jones is still a lot. He's got 37% of the vote. Vernon Jones only has 29. So right now he's got a flat. You never see that. 40,000. Not 40,136, 40,000. Hey, Amber, how you doing? Bless your heart. God bless you, sweetie. Appreciate you. Love you, girl. Appreciate the kind words you've been saying. You didn't get a chance to vote. Well, next time. There's always next time. You got the general election to be coming up in November. And, exercise your right to vote. Are you registered? I guess you would be. You said if you didn't get a chance. Do your early voting, whatever. Come to me. We'll get you the information. I tell everybody go to the. Thank you for that. I tell everybody to go to the Georgia Secretary of State website and download the sample ballot for you. It will give you everything that you're going to be looking at when you walk into. You are good. Good for you. We're going to lose because of Ember. NC playing with you. But download that sample ballot when it gets closer to the general. When all these votes come in and we get closer to that, they'll put out the sample ballot. You can mark that. You can take it in the precinct. It's legal to pull out and look at. That way you don't forget. This is a big ballot, by the way. I said that this morning. There's 10 questions on there. Each party does that. Do you want the Republican Party to do this? You got to read through all that. But there's a lot of offices that are open. You have hey, you're dealing with a mountain girl right there now. I guess you still live on the mountain, or are you down in the valley now? They give me a hard time at church because they call me a flatlander because I don't live on the mountain. But I have people that have been wanting me to move up to the mountain, Lookout Mountain, way down. Not on the upper Cruster end. I don't have that kind of money, but I've had people wanting me to do that. So I know a lot of you. Whoops, didn't mean to have that. I was going to do this though. Okay. But yeah, I'm glad you popped in. You just got put in your place. Well, you couldn't be put in your place by a sweeter person. So Still do live on the mountain. Come to Sand Mountain. It's a great place to be. I was talking to a guy today. He's a new hire at our workplace, and somehow through his daughter, I think they have property in Alabama up on the mountain, and she's gotten them living over here, so that's why he chose our workplace to come. Although we have people drive from Sand Mountain, but he was telling me how cheap his insurance was up there. I'm thinking I need to ride up there and just get my car insurance. It's like, dude, amazing price. I was like, he said things are cheaper on the mountain. Thank you for that. We need you. We need you more than ever. It's the pictures, and I know you saw those that Hannah put together. Those are so sweet. Boy, it really got my heart, though. I'm going to tell you, a few tears shed this afternoon, no doubt about it. But I love the picture. It was really touching. And absolutely. And we're going to have to get over that way in the near future. Let's show this. Here's someone that has, yeah, they are beautiful. I want to show you this one real quick. This is District 1. And if you look right down here, Candace Taylor, she has tried and tried and tried and tried to win an election somewhere. Yeah, especially with Josh, no doubt. It got me, Jim Kingston, he's been there a long time. He's been out there in politics a long time. She keeps picking races that she's just not going to win. And she's caused other people controversy, some things she said. There's some people don't like her up in the upper part of the state. I can say that. There may be some people that like her. But in District 1, she's took on a giant, and she's not going to win that. Kingston has been out there for a while. We got a top race here on the District 1 Democrat, though. Look at those totals. 24, 23, 23. I mean, they are very tight. Look how many people ran in that. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, this will be a runoff. You know what I mean? In Georgia, it's 50 plus 1. You got to win. You got to win with 50% plus 1 vote. There is no way they're going to do that. Candace, ever ending victory. She doesn't. She just does not. So anyway, I just flip and see some of these and see which ones. Oh, there's one. He's been around a long time too. Henry Hank Johnson Jr. There's a lot. There's nothing in on this one yet. There's a lot I could say. I'm not going to, but he's been out there blazing a trail. We'll say for some time. Don't like a lot of things he's been about. Lucy McBath. She's running unopposed. That's the one that was in the district that Marjorie Taylor Greene was in before she moved into the 14th. She said, I can't, and she knew it. She couldn't beat McBath. She's entrenched down there. Nobody's opposing her. And in the 7th, Rich McCormick, nobody opposed. So District 7, we've got a pretty good lead there. It's a little tighter race in District 8 on the Democrat side. Andrew Clyde, I'm familiar with him. He's killing it over there in the 9th District, Republican, U.S. House of Representatives. Pretty tight on the Democrat side, although that's a pretty comfortable margin, 52%. But look at the low vote total. There'll be more coming out. There's only 2 of 12 coming in that area, so they've got a lot of ways to go. There's the 10th District. Mr. Gaines is killing it. A little tighter here, but not so much. She got 55% of the vote. John Cowan, familiar with him, District 11. I'm trying to think of anybody else there that I'm real familiar with, but Cowan I am. 41% of the vote, doing well. Hardin on the Democrat side, District 11, killing it, almost 76% of the vote. Rick Allen, that's another one, is incumbent. That name's been out there quite a bit, and obviously is trouncing the opponent. Chavez running unopposed. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on some of these. I know you get into state stuff and you can really dig down deep. There's a guy running, Ben Watson, well-respected, District 1, State Senate. Mike Hodges in District 3. Let's see here. Let's get on down. Then we'll go back up and check some of the others. it's there's so much that goes into this. I think about the culmination of an election, and even though this is the primary, I haven't been able to keep up with who to vote for. I almost texted you this morning, and I got busy at work. Hey, no problem. We're always there to help you. We'll give you what we know, and you're pretty well represented in your area. And I would say that I'm not. Are you on the? You're on the Georgia side, right? You're not on the Alabama side. You're on the Georgia side, correct, Amber? If you are, I think that's Mike Cameron's district, and he does very well. He's done very well for himself, and and that's who Jenna was wanting people to vote for. Yeah, they've moved these things all around. Used to have its primaries in May, but now it's in March, and so I wish they were all together. Honestly, but you got those what are they Super Tuesdays and stuff like that that goes on. Yes, on the Georgia side, I'm almost certain on the one side, the one represented, I think that's Cameron, and he's been in there for a bit. I see him around a lot in the area of Chickamauga and stuff because he represents in that area, and so I definitely see him a lot. Let me get down here a little bit, look at some of these. But anyway, that there were people that were really, and some of these don't even have reports in yet. It's really strange how some of these come in. Let me get on up here. Let me get over here a little bit. Get a little bit closer to where we're at, and see if I can find that one I'm looking for. Lanny Thomas is another one. That's that 53rd district, state senate, Republican side. It used to be for a long time. This was Mullis's seat, who held he was on the chair of the rules committee. He done very well for himself. He has a lobbying company, lobbyist, his own company. He's agreed to come on the show. I've been waiting for things to settle out with my life and his. But Lanny, a lot of votes for him, and he's going to crush that. He's very well thought of. I mean, it's over. I mean, I don't care what's up. Actually, they're 5 of 5 is already reporting, so he will represent there. So at least as far as in the general election, and there was only the Democrat there, so they will. This will be Lanny Thomas against John Zebluck. So 54th district, Marty Brown, familiar. I've been around for a bit. Chuck Payne though as the incumbent, and I figured he would pull that. Not a big surprise there, to be honest. There's District 1, Amber. The one I'm up in the air about is for governor. It's a lot of people running for it. But Mike Cameron, they jumped. Where did that go? Anyway, I don't know if I was past that or in front of that. There it is. District 1, Sean Harris. District. Now he ran. This is the ex-military guy, and he's well respected. And so, he was the one. And this is that big race in the 14th is one I was looking for. And Clay Fuller, who won the special election, is walking the dog over anybody else right now. And he had my vote. And Sean Harris, they will team up against each other. This will be a good race. Again, that's who ran for the special election and won out. And so anyway, but Cameron is your guy. And where was that at? I think it flipped too far forward. But anyway, that he's entrenched there. I don't see that being a problem. So we go back up. Then we'll spend too much. It's updating, so it moves around on us. Oops, sorry. Tighten maybe just a little, but Mike Collins is still doing very well. And Derek Dooley has passed Buddy Carter slightly. So, but remember this, you have to get 50% plus 1. 50% plus 1. Mike Collins does not have that. So it would be a runoff. And right now, that runoff would be between Collins and Dooley. This will change. There's a lot of ones to go, But that's fascinating, fascinating. And then Ossoff, of course, is there. And look at this race; it is tightened even still. There's nobody going to get the 50% on this one. I think that's what happens. I think that's even in the primary. You have to have that. So anyway, but you got all these people running. I mean, nobody got much votes except for Carr and Raffensperger. I mean, did he really think he was going to win? I got to be careful here. You know, I'm still a part of the Hey Brent Brotman and Horsepower Coffee and energy drink. Hey, I got it right here on the desk. You know, right here on the desk. That kicking strawberry. I've been thinking about putting it in the fridge to get cold, drinking it. I need to get some more from you. Where are all the Green Party candidates in Georgia? They got ran out of the state. I'm just kidding. I don't know. They just get put out. There may be somebody there that's Green Party. I don't know, but they get traction, so a lot of them run as others now. Lieutenant Governor John F. Kennedy's still there, so we will see. We will see. This is a big one here. This is a big deal. It looks like a runoff. It won't be Raffensperger, and it won't be Chris Carr. But we see what's happening here. So a lot of stuff going on. Numbers are coming in and they're changing, and it's becoming very clear. But there's still some tight races that we'll have to. But you see how quickly they come in. And I know people hate Dominion and they hate all that, but the electronics work fast. They work fast. So we'll see. I just think about all the money that is now poured into these elections. I don't know what it cost them, but I can tell you the flyers that came in the mail were full color, two-sided, and they came about every day over the last month, maybe a little more. And we were getting some before that scattered out. In the last day, and some of them had multiple in one day. That ain't counting all the robocalls, surveys that come out, text messages, emails, ads played on social media, wherever you went, your local. I didn't say it fast doesn't mean right or accurate. I agree, but they like that. And I'll let you in a little secret. It's not a secret. I can tell you that election workers that have worked it for a long time, because they go back before me, before the machines. And I have never heard one say, election workers say they want to go back. They say they don't want to go back. They say they won't because they've had to hand count those ballots. Now we have to hand count sometimes, in the primary, we got to make sure everything's equal and all the counts are good with that. Those ballots are still there, and we do that, but the totals are in. So you make sure it matches what the machine says and all that. So you do count them and put them in stacks of 25, and then there's many hands on that. One time we were doing a count. It was at the end of a week, early election. We had to get all the ballots out because the next week was the election. Amber says Fox says that Kentucky was called. Okay. Thank you for that. I should pull up on the TV in front of me. I should pull up some of that. I'm disappointed in this one election site that I'm looking at. It's not good. They're very behind. So I'm not sure what's happened with that. I may have to switch over, but I will go to Fox and pull up some stuff and keep up. Thank you for that, though. And Gallerin, okay. Believe it or not, speaking to Amber, Lynn really, she loved to vote. She loved being a part of that. And she would sit and watch election results with me. She loved knowing that her vote meant something. And so I can remember that last time that she came in. She didn't get to vote in the last one. I meant to get the absentee ballot. She was so sick. We were so caught. I didn't give him a chance to even go down there and do it. And well, thank you for that. We'll take all what do they call that? Roving reporters. I take and get the absentee ballot for her, and I thought about just doing it for myself since she was going to be doing it. I was just going to help her, and I would have had to help her. She still would have been able to, and it just didn't happen. But the last time she came to the precinct, I was working the election, and so all the guys that I was working inside. Of course, my son was there, Jeremy, and I think all the grandkids, but he doesn't vote there. He lives in Walker, so he has to go over to the other place, and he had already voted. But I went out to get her, and she was she was able to walk with a walker there. But we have the ramp for the handicap, and I went out there and escorted her from the car up in there and all the way to the different stations and everything. And all them guys and gals in there, they were like, you're a good dude. It's like, that's just what you do, man. They say amen, and they were talking to me and said, you got a good one there. I was like, don't build me up too much. But this is what kills me is, that's what you see. You see these senior citizens come in and they're limping and they're war vets and all this stuff. They've served their country and they're trying to get into the voting precinct. And we always put those folks to the front. We give them chairs to sit in. I mean, there's handicap areas to sit in. And they love it. And sometimes their hands are shaking so bad we can't touch the ballots. We just try to, get it. And so their family can if they've signed to help. And some of those folks, it was, it's like maybe 4 or 5 times to try to get that ballot into the scanner. But they love that sticker. They want it. They put it on there. I voted. I'm a Georgia voter, I think it says. And they just love that. Kyle and I got to see Trump by accident while he was in Rome. We were there for her basketball game. Okay. He's hit Rome a few times. I think, of course, Atlanta and Macon. He usually goes to his strongholds. Atlanta's not the stronghold for him. Not that he won't go there and do things, but he goes to Macon or Rome or Dalton or something like that. He's done a little bit of all those. But Rome's a good place for him to go. Good crowds. I was wanting to go to one of those rallies and I didn't get a chance to. But hello there. I'm sorry I missed you from the Twitch. I thank you for saying hello. And I did have some screens covered up. Thank you for still being there on Instagram. We appreciate all of you for checking in, and certainly put your comments in whatever state you're in. Give us updates to that. I'm really interested in the national scene as well. And let's see here. Let's see if we can find the thing that I was looking for on Fox. And I like the tickers, but I might have to pull up the thing on my phone. We chased him down to the airport to watch him take off. Well, that's exciting. I never met a living president who was still in office, but I met Jimmy Carter. I was within 5 feet of him at a job that I used to do. He was at that hotel staying there. I took a gamble. I would never do it today because of all that's happened with security and all that. And I was told to stay out of there. I wasn't making that much money. Me and Lynn we weren't even married yet. We were dating, and I was working. Your dad had helped me get on at the Choo Choo, and I was working there in a different area from him. And they had 3 hotels, and I was told to pick up the grounds, cigarette butts and all that. And I went down and saw my buddy who was working the desk down there. And I just decided, I was going to go for it. It was Jimmy Carter. Not that I'm a big fan of Jimmy Carter, but he's from Georgia. And he hadn't been out of office long. And I asked my buddy, and he told me when to come back. He said, don't walk in until this minute. He didn't know exactly what was coming down, but he had a pretty good idea from talking to people that were, helping. Anyway, he said, be here at this time, and I did. When I walk up to the desk, he said, don't move. They're coming down now. They're using the stairs. And I saw that there was a little bit about the massing. I didn't get to really check on it, but appreciate that. I mean, I don't know on that yet, but thank you for the update. But anyway, they come out behind me, and yes, and he was flanked by Secret Service all around. He had about 5 people. Of course, they had guys on the roof with high-powered rifles and all that stuff. The limo pulled up. And something spooked them when they got outside. A buddy of mine told me I didn't move, but they shoved him into the car and took off. But when he came out of the stairs, he was coming behind me, and I didn't move. I just turned my head because he looked at us and he said, how y'all doing? Good, not like you're gonna reach out and shake a hand at that point. But that was his close. He was within, I say, less than 5 feet, probably 4 feet, maybe 5. It wasn't much. He come right behind me, and then I got the heck out of Dodge because I could have got fired for that. But you know what? I thought, for what I'm making, I'm gonna risk it. It may be the only time I do. Sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. So, I mean, that's the way it goes. All right, let me pull up on my iPad while y'all are still posting. But yeah, that's a good story, and that's something that you can take with you. The kids will know about it, grandkids can know about it, and I think that is I always think those are cool things. Let me pull up my TV thing here, and we'll pull up some of this. It's a memory. It's a cool memory. Hey, I got to meet Bret Michaels, lead singer of Poison, one time. Some people may say, who cares? But, I mean, it just happened. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And, you just go for it. And he came out to greet us. And, whether you like the band or not, that's pretty cool that you get to meet somebody. And I got to talk to him. And it was, it was pretty cool. He has some nice things to say. Actually, I was able to get a lot of conversation in with him, which made some girls mad. I was in my 30s then. Lynn was not with me at that show. It was a friend of mine. And the reason we got to meet him is I forgot about the time difference, of all things to forget about. And I got to the gate really early. He is nice. And what gave me the heads up in that one was my friend was not at the show the night before. Lynn was. See, I went back to back, and I went with Lynn in Atlanta at the Starwood. And, I was at a concert, and I saw them the next night in Nashville. And it was the only good show I ever had in Nashville. Well, actually, sort of good. Every time I went to Nashville, I had weird things happen. But even at this show, I think I locked my keys in my car or something. I don't know, something stupid. But anyway, he come out to the gate on his Harley. But I had seen the show the night before. And when I said great show last night, he's who said that? And the reason he was really interested in it was because they had just changed guitars from CC DeVille, who had a drug problem, and of course been back for years and years and years, to the other guitar player. And he wanted to know. He was generally wanted to know what I felt. No ego, no nothing. He said, almost like. And when I told him what I felt, he said, man, that means a lot to me. That really, really means a lot to me. So, and it was genuine. I wasn't making something up. It was just, something that I got to do, and he was there, and I got the autograph. And, like you said, so yes, it was at a concert, and I don't forget who was playing with them. They were the headliner, and somebody opened for them. It might've been a couple of bands. It was an amphitheater. Usually you have 2 or 3 bands. Summer concert series. Usually it would be 2 or 3 bands. I swear I don't remember who. Man, it's been so long ago and lost with time. It was weird things happened. And Nashville was never good to me. I swear it. It was good meeting him. The show was great. The after was kind of weird. Hey, thank you for that. And I'm it's a weird kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm changing or something. Doing podcasts, it's amazing. I'm a very shy person, and I know nobody believes that. I really am. I'm a very shy person, and sometimes when I'm quiet, people mistake it for I am aloof or I got attitude, and I have to remind myself to smile because they say I look mad when I don't, and I've heard that from multiple people. I have a bad resting face, I can't even say. So I'm usually happy-go-lucky, but sometimes in a crowd, I kind of lock up a little bit. It's hard to come on sometimes. It's hard to come on a show. I'm looking at myself as you're seeing me, and I have different things I do to help with that. It's gotten better over the years, but still there. You never really lose it. It's just there. And whether that's standing in a meeting at work and doing a training class or going live here, it's still the same feeling. But I've always been a private person, not because I'm secretive or anything like that. I've just always held things close. Lynn would, she could tell you how private I was. When we first got married, there's things I wouldn't tell her, how I felt, my feelings and stuff, feelings. I was never into that. So I guess I'm like my dad in that way. And Lynn would say, tell me, I want to know, I want to know. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Oh, man. And my dad was not. My mom was not. I don't know why it hit me. I really don't know. Yeah, he's worse than I was, and his daughter's even worse, Keely. But anyway, what I was going to say is that I've always been kind of funny about social media. I don't put out a lot about me. I'll post things. I don't even, a lot of times I just read because people are so cruel and mean sometimes on social media, and they'll say things that, you don't, I just don't need the argument. I don't need the drama. And I've been posting more because I do the podcast and the Wolf Nation Network and all that. But when she passed away, I was really, there was multiple reasons I did it. One was, I realized my pain is not the only pain that's out there. There's a lot of people in pain. I mean, I had so many people reaching out to me and, from family, and I could see that's immediate because, I'm around them. But I had people, that she went to school with, people that she worked with that I've known about, and I've met many of them. There's probably people I don't even know. And, they weren't able to come to the funeral. They weren't at the funeral home. There was different reasons why. And I still got to get the pictures and put them online. I'm going to do that too and do like a memorial. And before I forget it, let me tell you, we're doing a celebration of life in a few months. For all the people that would like to come and say something and add a story or whatever, we're going to have that at my church with some kind of lunch or something. We'll do it, and we'll do it upright. That will happen in the somewhat near future. I was hoping Josh could be home. I can't wait that long. So in a few months, maybe 6 months or so, I got to stay away from the holidays, but we're going to do a celebration of life, and we'll announce it way ahead of time. And hopefully most people can make it that want to. And we'll play some, we'll have some songs and stuff. And it's mainly just for people to be able to share stories. And we'll do it in the fellowship hall. So it's not, some people are a little intimidated about coming to the church, but we'll do it in the fellowship hall. But anyway, when I started doing those things, I did it. One, I wanted to help people, and it helped me too. Two is I realized a lot of these stories nobody knows. I don't want to share them before I die, and hopefully that's a long time, but I wanted to share the stories. There are so many stories that was just me and her. Jeremy has said, Dad, I didn't know. I never knew that. My sisters have said, I never knew that. And so I'm trying to share those. There's stories I can't share because there's just things that happen that you never know who get upset. I'll dance around some things, but there's just some things, But I'm trying to share the stories that were very touching or funny or something like that. We 42 years together. I mean, I have a lot of, it took him forever. He does good on the phone. That boy will talk to your ears off on the phone, but in person, it's tough. We'd love for you to come. And, it would be, if we could even share about her sisters too. It doesn't have to be just Lynn, because she loved her sisters very much. So it could be that too. If you wanted me to, it would be fine. But yeah, I want to do that. But the stories, and I'll be putting one out a little later tonight about that. And but yeah, it's a blessing to do. I got to be honest with you, not to seem or sound. Brusky's in here. He'll go, Dave, toughen up. Yeah, amen. I was going. Oh, the stories. I find myself pretty tore up. I gotta be honest. Most of those, I've never told anybody this. I do them alone. I do that. I just find a quiet time and I do them alone. It might even be the middle of the night. I wake up and I can't sleep. The story hits my mind. Oh, let's share this one. But it takes me a little bit longer to put them out because I have to clear my eyes. It's not sadness always. It's just funny and joy, and it's but there is sadness too. So anyway, all right. I am trying to get to what I wanted to do, and I've been running my mouth off. So all you hear saying, where is the results? So if you hear anything on Massey, I would really like to know that. Oh yeah, she was really close to mine. Oh, extremely close, extremely close. Um, well, thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that. Um, you know, let me tell you a little bit about me. Or I'll say one more thing on this, and we'll get back. I love music, and I love all kinds of music. And sometimes it's not the words; it's just the music. And I always know there's going to be a song attached to. I knew there would be a song attached. I'd hear all these songs, and I thought, what's the one that's going to make me think of her? And it sounds strange, I know. Memory, it's just the way I'm geared. There's songs that we had together. We dated, and we always loved them. And Christian songs, there was a lot of closeness. And Lynn was never into really heavy things, or I wasn't really heavy things, but she liked her country and bluegrass and pop, and she did like some right. She liked Poison and Def Leppard, stuff like that. No Metallica or nothing like that. She didn't like that. But I was coming home from church and I was flipping the channels, and Zeppelin's "The Rain" song came on, and I don't know what it is about it, but that's the song. And now it just that was a hard ride down the mountain. And it's not the words. I couldn't even tell you what the first line in that song is, but the music in that song, it connected. I connected with it. So that's because, and it actually is the music behind one of the pictures that I put up. Is that, if you're wondering, all the music has a. That's another thing too. The music is not. I don't just pick a song. There's reasons behind the music, a way I'm feeling, or something that I just know that she liked, or we like together, or it has a message to it. It's only a little clip, but every song is also attached to the story. There's a purpose there. It's not just throwing a song. I like music to a music attack. Music connects us to the world around us, whatever kind of music it is, and that's just to give you that insight. I haven't told anybody that, but this is good for you. We need to talk about it. Yeah, I know he's really struggled. We went and saw him, one day. Me and Jeremy. This is one of those trips we took. One time we didn't have time. The other time we did, and we went all the way up. And he's it's so much pain, and there's, I think with anybody that goes through grief, there's a stage you go through, and maybe it lasts for a long time, but to shut down, to circle the wagons, and just get away from the world. There is a part of me I fight against that, just to be alone, but that's not it's not a good place to be. And so I'll take time for me. I've always been a person that likes, and Lynn was cognizant of this. She figured it out early on that there are times that I needed my time, and it was nothing against her or anybody else. I just needed that time. I listen to music. Lynn knew when I put the music in, she didn't take, early days, she'd say, why don't you want to talk to me? I have to, it's decompression. I have to roll things out of my brain, and I do that with music. That's why music is so important to me. I just roll. And by the way, I'll be decompressing things that happened 40 years ago. I'm stupid that way. My brain acts so weird. And I replay scenes in my head. I'll dream them. I replay them, and it could be anything. And so she figured out early on that I needed that kind of time. But you can't stay in that place. You can't stay in that place. Yeah, and I'm afraid of that too. I've got, because three main things. One, I got Kaylee, and Kaylee needs me, and she's, it's me and her, and she's got a lot of people around her, but she's got me. That's the main thing. I've got Kaylee, and I've got my sons. I've got to be there for them, and the rest of the family. And the most important thing is, and it is the most important thing, I've got things to do for Jesus, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to sit down. I won't lie. It was hard to step back in the pulpit. I was the first time Sunday, but I enjoyed it. I got to say, I enjoyed it, but I was wore out. That's what I'm used to. What that's going to look like in the future, I can't tell you. I think probably my life is going to change. It's already changed. There's probably going to be some changes with that. Not again. I'll be preaching always, but what that looks like, I can't tell you. I just feel I have it in my spirit. I feel like there's changes coming. But anyway, all right. Let's get an update here. Thomas Massey concedes. As we see that, thank you for that. So he did. So there's great crying going on. By some we know, broski, Massey was defeated. So you're seeing they are now reporting in about 101. So you can see. Let me share this back on. I'll share this back on the screen. In Georgia, they color it in as they are reporting, so you can see. And it's always down in that little south, down in this part of Georgia. There'll be a county down there, there'll be late coming in, and then you'll have one around Atlanta for sure that does that. So, yeah, I don't know why those are so slow. But it is going to be there's not going to be 50%. I can tell you that in many of these races. Mike Collins is walking the dog on this one though. I chose a winner. I like Mike Collins. Nothing against the other ones. This Burt Jones, Rick Jackson, it is 36.39% for Jones, 34.62 for Jackson. So the others are distant. Brad Raffensperger will be the third in line there at 15. He's trounced. It's over. Concede, Brad. Brad. I like the name Brad. His name always cracks me up. Brad. In the lieutenant governor race, it is still Kennedy with 27%. There's nobody close, really. But again, so many of those votes are spread out. So many of them. Well, thanks for that. Somebody asked me to say, how you doing? I said, I don't know. One guy said, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I said, should I know? Do I know? I think I do. I think I do. I'm in a good place most times. It's let me tell you, it's the weird things. I know for all you looking for votes, you're having to deal with me, share, but I've discovered some things because I've never been down this road. One of the things that's hit very hard, and I love all my church folks, it's really hard to go to church dinners without Lynn. It doesn't work. Love the people, love the food. It doesn't work. Yeah, Jackson and Jones are very close. So I gotta have to get used to that because we do church dinners. We do them often, and just got used to that. So thank you for stepping up on that. But yeah, I am. And I got a job to do. I got a job to do. I got to focus, and I got a podcast that we're trying to grow and keep moving in the right direction. The Secretary of State, Fleming, is still trouncing everybody else. Jones is in distance. So a lot of these races are blowouts. But there are some that are close. There are some that are very, very close. Yeah, Thomas Massey's at the podium right now, conceding the race to Ed Gallerin. That's a big blow. Trump will celebrate that. Him and Massey have had odds, So I would like to know, and let me see if I can pull this one up, because I'm really curious in neighboring states. And let me pull this up. I can probably get them a little quicker. And of course, let me see if I've got a, one second. I'm trying to pull up, continue. Everybody has all these little prompts you have to go through now when you go to their site. It just drives me crazy. I'm not going to do that. That's not the one I want. So we'll have to look at a different one. Let's see here. I was trying to get the Alabama one and look at the governor race. And unfortunately, I pulled up everything but that. That is not what I wanted to see. So let me see if I can find the right prompt for that. because we're looking at Republican Senate, and that's not what I wanted to see. Here we go. The governor, and of course, Alabama being different. No disrespect. There's no results in right now on that side. NBC News. That's shocking. Maybe it'll update here in a second. Sometimes it just got to filter in. No, you're fine. You're fine. It's all good. I always talk about whatever between whatever, and I don't have anybody in the studio, so you guys and gals are help keeping me going, um, and I don't mind that at all. And oh man, you know who just tried to call me? I think uh, that was at 8:20. That was just a minute ago. Maybe I'll call back. Hang out there, Amber. Don't. We'll try to do this. You'll just have to bear with me, folks. Like it or not, my son is trying to call, and if he is, I'll let you say, "Hey, Amber." So, well, you can't. I can't hear you, but I will let him say hi to you. That's what I meant. My brain's mush, but I'll get him to say that. I can't call him, and I didn't know that he had just called me. He'll probably try a second time. We've been missing like since yesterday. We have missed talking to each other. Um, Oddly enough, the Democrat side is the numbers are in. Doug Jones is leading. It's way early, way early. Very little of the vote is in. He's got 417, and he's trouncing the other two. It looks like he's going to be the favorite there. Yeah, just hang on a minute. If he calls back, and I hate I missed that. He may or may not call back because he may think I'm live. Um, let me message Timmy. I'll tell her to. He usually makes his rounds on these calls, so I told her to do that. Okay, now it's come in. Tommy Tuberville, the old ball coach, University of Auburn. It's way early, but he is also trouncing on his sides. So early on, it looks like between Doug Jones and Tommy Tuberville for the governor. Of course, that is way early, and those votes are, I mean, it's like 0.1%, 0.01%. I mean, they estimate that over 700,000 Alabamians are going to vote in this for the Republican side. And on the Democrat side, they expect 250,000. I never seen them put estimated for. Maybe they just have those totals of knowing about how many came in. Um, I didn't realize you weren't there. I'm sorry. And they didn't keep him long at the cemetery. And that was the officer who did a great job. He said, I can't do it. So he told him that on the way. So this is the very southwest corner of the state where these votes are coming in. That's down there. That's way down there, right next to Mississippi. But they are starting to filter some of those votes in the Alabama governor's race. I'm also interested in the Florida one. If anybody's got anything on that, that would be interesting too. Do I have your number? Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, you put it in my phone. I will. And he can call you. You just have to, it's paid for, and we're paying for it. You just have to push 5 to accept the call when he calls. Let's see here. Some varied races NBC is reporting on. Boy, their numbers are horrible. It's crazy. Some of the numbers are way, well, maybe not. Maybe I looked at it wrong. Okay. Let's see. Let me look at some of these. In Kentucky, the projected winner is Barr for Senate over Cameron, 60 to 31%. So they've called that one. A lot of the others are saying too early to call. They are already saying it's going to be a runoff in Georgia. They've already got up there, and I mean we can obviously see that race is tight. So it's going to be a runoff. You got to have, and I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not with 50 plus 1. Um, I didn't see that, broski, but I sure had that idea. There's a lot about that story I would like to know. The one mom said, and here I go back again. I'm glad she called. I'm glad she said, "Listen, he's suicidal. He's got my weapons." First they called, then they said, "Hey, he's got weapons and he's threatening and whatever." But I don't know which one it was. Well, it was the shorter one, I think. But anyway, you gotta one. Why is the kid wacko? What's going on there with these ideologies and acting up and talking about suicide, which they did. They killed themselves. But why are your guns not locked up? I'm telling you, I got a kid around that's showing some odd stuff. There's no way, Jose, they're getting to those. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. I definitely want to stay connected. So it was on my heart to actually ask you, and y'all come out and we'll get together and do that. Lynn she would really love that, and we'll meet over that way somewhere. I like to get out and ride anyway, so I definitely want to do that. And I don't want us to say we're going to do it and not do it. So let's make sure that we do it. Let's see here. Advancing to a runoff, the Louisiana Senate. The primary winner, it'll be between, they're saying advance, because they don't have 50%. It's Fleming, going to be Fleming against Letlow in Louisiana. So they've got a runoff there. A lot of the states here. I'm looking for, in Ohio, they don't have results in yet on the governor. Let me find Florida. I am so curious about some of these they don't have in yet, so I may not be able to pull that up. Some of them are just not highlighted yet, so I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that up. So anyway, yes, absolutely, I need that. I definitely need that. I don't know why they're not. Oh, that's for Senate. Governor, it's still not letting me. Yeah, that is definitely a runoff. Jones is leading, though. That's a good sign for him. In this, all the money that Jackson has spent, even though it's a runoff, that's a good sign for him. I think he'll do well. And it'll be, do the runoff, and then you're going to face Miss Bottoms, who has pulled. If you put Jackson's, which you could do that on that side too. This is interesting. If you put Jackson and Jones together, that's about 250,000, a little more than that, total votes. And you throw in Raffensperger's, just him, that puts it at about 300,000. She has 242 and a half, but two of her opponents, they have 100,000 with them. So not that it'll carry over, but and again, that's with what's in right now. It may not. There's less reporting on the Republican side than the Democrat, but it is interesting, I think, when you start looking at, because you won't get all those voters back. They won't show back up. But here is, we'll put this on the screen. I'll have to probably release that one. What I'll do, Amber, if you don't call back, I'll try to three-way call you one day when he calls in. I'll tell him what I'm doing. He would love that. He would absolutely love that. So as we look at this race in Georgia, this is the way NBC is looking at this right now, and you can see that right here. And they're already saying, advancing to runoff. And I don't know why they're calling the Democrat side too early to call, but maybe it's because of what votes are out. And they're estimating that 806,000 votes will come in. But she is killing it. I mean, I don't know how they got to get a little bit further, I guess. There were some people trying to portray him as a Trump kind of guy, businessman pulling up and all that. But okay, yeah, we'll do that because he may not call back. He don't want to bother me. He probably figures I'm live. I would have took it this one though, especially with you being here. But you can see that right there. See that around Atlanta? There's still some votes out. It kills me. Absolutely kills me that they do that. And let me go back. And let's go look at this, if we can pull it up, the Kentucky. Let's see, where's that? Where's that? There it is. Let's pull up Kentucky. And this is for the, let's get to GOP results. Just trying to look for the one that he was in. And for some reason, I'm not seeing that right now. So, man, some of these have, I mean, like 12, 13 people running. That's way too much. I mean, I don't know how you drill it down a little bit, but these primaries are just, you got so many people running in it, and it really monkeys with the system. And then you get these runoffs, and you don't get as many people back in the runoffs, and you got to fight to get those votes back, and only maybe 6%, if you're lucky, 7% will come back in a runoff. And boy, it can flip it really quickly. Okay, that's not what I want to do. Let me go back up here and flip to governor. Or not governor. Kentucky's such a beautiful state. It's a shame that it has such liberal areas, like a lot of places. There it is. Okay, that's one I was looking at. And he does have that. And so, one second. Let's pull this one up. There you go. And there is right here. So it was 50,577, 41,717. They've got 85.3% into the vote, estimated. I guess that's remaining 16,000 votes. I guess the numbers will just say so. He is projected the winner at almost 55% of the vote. That's a pretty wide margin as a win there for Mr. Ed against Thomas Massey. He got trounced. I mean, you would say November is when it's true. I mean, we got to get these folks in there. And on the Democrat side, what a trouncing there in Kentucky by Melissa Strange over Jesse Brewer. So there's going to be your election in November in that state. Not that we're in Kentucky, but that's an important state. It figures in a lot. So anyway, thought you might want to see that unless you're watching on TV. Now Ed Gallerin is delivering his victory speech after he waited for, you always have to wait for the person to, concede, and then they come out. So a stage full there. Wherever they're in Covington. He's in Covington, Kentucky, is where they're at. I want to see. It's not showing me all the ones I want to see. Let's look at Texas. Wow. So there is. Now this is fascinating, and I want to tell you about this one. So here's the great state of Texas. And I know that may be a little hard to see on this one here. I could probably blow that up just a little bit. Let me see here. Yeah, there you go. So when you look at that, Abbott is killing. I don't know if y'all know Pete Chambers. I like Pete Chambers. If you don't know him, you should follow him on he's on lots of things, but he's a veteran. He has done a lot of things down on the Texas border. He's a true blue American. I don't know why he reached to run governor. I thought it was a big reach for him. He's liked by a lot of people. I like watching his stuff. I'd love to interview him. It's really hard to get a hold of somebody like that, to get him on your show. And he does his own show. I don't know if he does full shows, but he does videos and clips. But I know he has a Telegram, and I believe he's on Rumble. I think he's on Rumble. I know he has a Telegram. But Pete Chambers, neat guy. But Abbott has destroyed. I mean, it's not even close. And it looks like Miss Gina is going, this is one. So that's going to be your November fight in the great state of Texas. So Pete Chambers, dude. But you know what? He's a great guy. And I'm going to tell you about Pete Chambers. Pete Chambers loves God. He loves Jesus. He loves America. He loves the Lord. And he wants the best things for this country. And he's all about the rule of law. But I'm going to tell you, he showed up down there when they came in there and was laser killing all them deer down there. You know, he tried to support those folks down there. It was devastating. I was really following really heavy about that time. I haven't had time lately. But if you're not following Pete Chambers, you should. He's a neat guy. He gets around the state a lot. He really is. He kind of harkens back. He's kind of like the old Western kind of guy. That's what he reminds me of. You know, a guy on horseback, and you know, he just has that look about him. I like Pete. But Greg Abbott is killing it right here. So I'll have to put something up about Pete Chambers at some point. And before I forget it, some of you have probably seen them, some of you have not. Let me run a couple of commercials. I'm not leaving. I'll be right here just about our morning show and stuff. I've got some new ones to come up. Our new show, First Light. Try to grab that. It goes live at 5:30. If you can't get it then, most people are not up, but it's only 15 minutes long. We're keeping it at that. These are Monday through Friday. We do an hour on Saturday live, and these are recorded. We just did our one for tomorrow. And Biscuit, what many people are going to be a part of this. If you'd like to be a part, just let me know. We have a discussion about the scripture and what it means to you and how it's affected you in your life and just the greatness of God. It's called First Light. I don't have that promo up. It is out there online. The First Light is something we're very proud of because we believe it's God honoring. But I'll be right back.
Good evening. This is your host standing by our nation's heart. We are launching Patriot Nation News, your trusted source for daily updates. Join us every weekday, 9 p.m. Eastern, only on PNN News.
Let's kick this day off right, Wolf Nation. It's time to wake up, show up. First you pray up, then you coffee up. Grab your Wolf Nation coffee and tune into the Cornbread Man Morning Show at 6 a.m. EST. Don't you dare miss it.
You're not going to want to miss what we're cooking up this month. Make sure you tune in every single Saturday morning, live right here from Wolf Nation Studio. Keep your eyes peeled for the Cornbread Man and Biscuit Boy. They're bringing the heat every week. We must find Biscuit Boy before the Lake Winnie local law enforcement officers do. I know you guys can smell his cigar. Let's go!
Stay low. Don't make a sound. He's getting closer. Are you kidding me? Right now?
I hear someone up there. Come out with your hands up. Where y'all headed tonight? None of your business. We're pulling cars over to check for Biscuit Boy.
Do you see him?
What you have to say about this?
The wolf knows.
Wolf Nation Coffee. Right on!
Wake up, everybody. It's showtime. Watch the Cornbread Man Morning Show at 6 a.m. EST. Get up, pray up, coffee up with Wolf Nation Coffee. The best brew to start your day right.
We got nothing to tell you. Where's Biscuit Boy?
All right, we're back. A few things about the morning show. If you're up, join us for our morning show. Goes live at 6. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for staying. Love you and your beautiful family, and you have a great night. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch. Okay, let's get back at it. And poor old Pete. I like Pete. He's a good guy. Let's see if there's any Senate races in Texas that I might want to preview here. Here's an important one, and this is one that we covered way back, and these numbers are interesting as well. This is the big one that's in Texas, and our friend, I guess, didn't make. I guess because he was already beat out before, but this is the John Cornyn seat, and there's a lot of money. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Thank you so much. This is this had a lot of money spent too. This is a nationwide. A lot of people are paying attention. This was John Cornyn, and they're going to a runoff, and it looks like Paxton and Cornyn. There were others that were there. They just didn't get. This field was even larger at one time, I think, but some of them may have pulled out. But this is going to be a big one in November or in the runoff, and it'll be one that the Democrats really fight for in November, because this is a huge state, a lot at stake here. So we see that he won, Mr. James Tallarico. He got the 52.4%, and who's right under that? You see that? Jasmine Crockett out of there. And then Ahmad Hassan didn't even hardly get on the radar. She did get a lot of votes, though. But this is a big one. Wesley Hunt, not in the hunt. None of these people. So it's going to come down to that. That's an important one there. There's going to be a lot of money. It has been a lot of money spent on that. So let's see. Let me get the results here. In Arkansas, well, it won't matter. Of course, Sarah Huckabee Sanders is running unopposed. Fred Love has destroyed his opponent. So it'll be Fred Love against Sarah Huckabee Sanders for the governor race in November in the great state of Arkansas. So let me go back. Numbers are really coming in now. Getting a lot of different ones. Let me go to another state here. Let's pull up this. Of course, we already seen some of these because they were handled before, but just to remind ourselves, before, Vivek, he destroyed his opponent, and will be going against Amy Acton, in that one. So, just killed it. And there was uncontested in the great state of Pennsylvania, so to be Shapiro against Garrity for the governorship there. So unopposed, November will be the big one. Pennsylvania always plays a little key role for that as well. Let's go out a little bit, and this is there's no results in because it's just now 8:48. So polls they can't allowed to show anything. Polls are not closed yet in Idaho, and I should have thought about that when I pulled it out. That would be one we won't probably be live for that, but I'll be paying attention to later. Let's bring it back over. Let's see. It is definitely going to be. They're saying too early to call. I don't know how they could overcome this, but it's because such low vote totals right now. But it looks like Tuberville Jones in Alabama, and of course some of them have not happened yet. We would love to see Florida, but they're not in the mix tonight. There's nobody else I can pull on this side of the equation, so let's go back. The Georgia Supreme Court, still too early to call. Those are important things. They really are important things. Let me go back. The state is filling in a little bit more in Georgia. They're now saying that 123 out of 159 counties are reported in. And those numbers have not moved off of the U.S. Senate race. Mike Collins he still don't have 50.1, but he's at 40, almost 41. So between Carter and Dooley, but Dooley is a number 2. He would live to fight another day. This race will be a runoff. Obviously, Jones he's advanced his lead a little bit over Jackson, so he's pulling away there, but not enough. Be a runoff. Lieutenant governor be a runoff as well. Kennedy is still leading that. Secretary of State be a runoff. Fleming against Jones right now is what it's looking like. Attorney General will be Brian Strickland. He's got 71, almost 71.5% of the vote in the state of Georgia. He'll be running against Tanya Miller, who has 84, almost 85% of the Democratic side votes. Let's see if there's another race here that all these are pretty well settled. Pretty well settled. There's there's only 2 running here, so it wouldn't be, and he does have 50 plus 1. I think it would get anyway for just 2. But Brandon Martin in District 3, Public Service Commissioner, is leading by less than or a little over 2,000 votes. That's a close race. 176,000 votes, almost 177,000. Very close, but he does have 50 plus 1 as of right now. That'd be for the Public Service Commissioner. Let's see here. In that, okay, hold on. I may not mispronounce something here. In District 1, U.S. House of Representatives, Kingston has 54%. He's going to win that. On the Democratic side, there is no clear winner. It'll be a runoff. District 3 Democrats, it'll be Mara Keller over Johnson. She's got 61% of the vote, and there's a lot, and all the votes are in. Looks like for that one, all of them are in. In District 4 Democrat, Hank Johnson is destroying the competition. He's got 80+% of the vote. And District 5 Dem House of Representatives, Nikema Williams is destroying on that side almost 87%. District 6 will be Martin, 70% of the vote. No opposition or on the other side. District 7 Democrat will be a runoff, looks like. No opposition on the Republican side. Right now, SD is winning District 8 on the Democrat side. Andrew Clyde, very well-known name, 78.5%. Just killed his competition. Houston Gaines is destroying him on the District 10 Republican side. Caitlin Geegan is going to win on the Democrat side with almost 59% of the vote. District 10 will go to Delancey on the Democrat side. John Cowan, name been around there for a while, been in different roles. District 11, U.S. House represent. He's 40, almost 44%. He doesn't have the 50 though, so it looks like I'm going up with Adgerson. Very close though to the third place though. Rick Allen is killing it, 83% in District 12. Will be a runoff in the Democrat side. Jasmine Clark destroying it in the District 13. So is Clay Fuller, 82.18%. Nobody close. Nobody close. I'm going to show this one. Let me make sure that's the right one. That's not the right one. I got to make sure it's set. And then we'll share it again. And I want you to see this one. This is U.S. House of Representatives, District 14. This is my area. And what's funny about it is this guy, he was the 53rd District Senate rep. You know, he had that when he left that to run in this. And there's some highly respected people in this. It's not they're bad people. But Clay Fuller has the backing of President Trump, and it is showing, yes, Broski, yes. Killed it. But Colton Moore got the most of anybody else at 6.65, but Clay Fuller, with that Trump endorsement, they're not playing around. So he will be opposed by Sean Harris, and they will run again. This is who won in the special election. They're going to run again in November. So this is Marjorie Taylor Greene's old seat that she left. That's why I'm highlighting it. It is also the area that I live. So this represents me. Clay Fuller against Harris. Pull that back down. Yes, I looked at that earlier. Yeah, he's good. So, really, honestly, I don't see a lot of surprises through anything. I see runoffs, and I'm a little surprised that some people didn't do a little better, but I'm not really surprised. I felt like they were talking about a big advantage that Jackson had over Burt Jones. Those numbers are not playing out. It's not 15 points. It's not at all. And it is very, very tight, 37% to 34. And so, and in fact, it's 162,000 plus to 149, just barely over 149,000 for Rick Jackson. All that money spent. He will get the runoff, though. And that's probably what they were counting on, to be honest. They know this. It's not a question of that. So, on to November, I guess you say. Let me go back to NBC. Alabama Senate, all of it's too early to call, according to them. And again, Collins is just not going to get enough. I mean, it's 41%. Dilley's got 28. Like I said, he is in second. He's done well, but I didn't feel like he would. I didn't feel like he would do that. Yeah, most of these I've covered for Georgia. So we'll see. And this is an interesting one. And this is Kentucky State Senate. Andy Barr is going to win the primary by sizable. He's got almost 60% of the vote. Let me put this one up here. Let me pull it back down, put it back up. This one's interesting as well. Hang on. My screen is acting funny. That's not what I wanted to show. I'm trying to figure out why it's doing that. There we go. Now let me go back. Look at this Democrat race in, as we said, in Kentucky. Amy McGrath, 79,854. Charles Booker, this is a big race, 79,677. Look how tight that is. Wow. So they're just showing the top ones there. There's other candidates. These big fields, but that is as tight can get. I mean, it's less than, 200 votes here? Oh, it's just updated. So they did an update. So it's 41 to 38. So it did pull ahead a little bit more. So they've data dumped some more in. So that did pull it up a little bit for McGrath. But still too early to call. And some of those can dance. I remember a late Georgia one where they dumped a bunch of votes late, and it cost, who was it? That's a great question. I'm kind of torn on this of where I would say this. In that I think that there's some things that's working against the president. And I said, it looks as though right now it's not going to have a big to do on the primaries. Got to get the economy straightened out for the general. But I think that there are more and more people that are testing is the right answer. Testing. I wouldn't say full defiance. In some cases, yes. Testing, going away from Trump and trying to distance themselves. And I'm not saying that's a bad idea for some. Depends on who you are. The reason I say that is that he will always be someone who's going to have a voice out there, but he can't run again. And so his influence could diminish some. I think it has a little bit in the GOP. I'm talking about. I think that there are some, obviously those who are not on his great side. Maybe they're not on the bad side, but they're not. He's not giving them the time of day much or very little. I'd say they're probably a little tired of it and looking to move on to someone else. They're probably glad when it's JD, whoever it's going to be, to be nominated and be looking to the GOP. I mean, they're all going to be looking to the future. Who gets elected? Who do we have a Republican president in 28? There's a lot of things riding, and I just feel like, I don't even have data. I just feel like that he is still very strong in some areas. You better not define, but in other areas, I question how effective that recommendation is. Trump has this amazing ability. It defies logic. He says, some people just eat it up and love it. He destroys people with his words. He calls them names. He bullies them. I mean, it's no doubt that he does that. Sometimes he's for a person, he turns around and he can't stand them. And a lot of places that's not hurt him. But he burns bridges pretty heavy. I mean, I'm not even talking about Democrat. I'm talking about GOP. And these are people that are pretty influential. But he don't like them. Of course, he don't like Kemp, and that was, Georgia. Of course, he's moving on. He's turned out. And I think Kemp has ideas on shaping the GOP as well. He's certainly been trying to do that in Georgia. Certainly. It's not playing. It's not working for him right now, though. He's chose the wrong side. But I do think that's interesting. So it looks like, well, certainly Indy Barr, and it looks like Amy McGrath. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I've kind of thought like that might be the thing. The question is, and here's the thing: can you have both, or is it one? And this is the question: is the GOP, is MAGA going to drive the GOP going forward or not? And I think because it's diminishing somewhat in some areas, he's diminishing some, because he's always going to be identified with MAGA. And I think that MAGA is going to have a voice for sure. Is it going to be as strong in the future? To be seen. I think some politicians will move away from that a little bit. And I think the term, I don't know what they'll call it, but I think the term you might hear more is America First. That became a catchphrase. That was Marjorie Taylor Greene. She didn't stay, she didn't keep quoting MAGA. She went America First, but, she went way out there and then, it just burned her down. But I don't know that it'd be called that either, but I think America First is something you hear that a lot. America First, let's take care of the home first and all those things. So I think there's a lot to be said in that. I just think that, I mean, you can go in some circles. I listen to a lot of people as much as I can, and you definitely hear people that will say. Now you're hearing people say, "I was never MAGA." They rode the coattails of it, but they might not have wore the hat, or they may have wore the hat. But now you got people saying, "Yes, it is," but I think that has caught on a lot. But a lot of people say, "I was never MAGA. MAGA moved away from me. What I want to be." So it's all marketing. You know how it is, and they'll come up with something. But yeah, they're at the Fox is at the Jackson for governor camp, and it is so very tight. He's losing by 2 percentage points. And Raffensperger, 15%. He's out there getting ready to address the troops. Yeah, he says, keep cheering. He knows he's going to run off. He's going to be throwing much more money in it. He acts kind of goofy to me. But maybe some say Trump does. I don't know. But he is at the podium right now. Wherever they're at. I guess Atlanta. I don't know where they're at. Yeah, they're already saying it. It's a runoff. We've been saying that. So he's making his notes right now. Ben Roethlisberger, no Raffensberger, Brad Raffensberger. In Alabama, the state Senate, another race that's too close to call. Moore is leading almost 46% over Marshall, 25. This has had a lot of energy in this race as well. In House 10 in Georgia, Gaines just destroyed Millsap, 67% has won. Nothing new. And they're already putting runoff on many of these, or too early to call, or one. So let me put this up here. This is something we need to see up here on the stage. The fight for Congress, the Senate. We see the numbers there: 53 to 47. The House, 218 to 213. Still so razor thin, right? Razor thin. Democrats need to flip a net of just 3 House seats in the fall to take back the House, where Republicans have a narrow majority. And there are many who believe that's going to happen. The Senate is, I think, more solid than the House, if I remember right. Democrats need a net gain of 4 seats in order to win control of the Senate. That means the party has to defend every seat it currently has and flip 4 more, or on highly competitive, even outright Republican terrain. So yeah, the Senate's more of a challenge, but it could be a split Congress here. So, man, the money is going to be spent there. But there's what's at stake right there. That says it all, and it's been that way. And they're very angry right now. This whole thing about the money too. I mean, Trump don't care. He won the money from the IRS. He's going to be able to. He's putting people over it, but they're going to be able to dispense the money to the J6ers who apply for it. They're burning up mad about that. And a part of the agreement is that they can't look at Trump's old tax records. Oh, they're burning hot right now about that. And these are the things they're going to run on. These are the things they're going to be screaming. Yeah, they're going to be screaming about the ballroom. They're going to be screaming about Iran. They're going to be screaming about the IRS deal. The other stuff that's already been out there and stuff. The ballroom, the money spent, calling him king and all that. It's going to be intense when we get to the fall. Intense. But that's politics. that's the way it goes, And so you just deal with it. Hey, sorry there, James. I had the screen covered up. You had yours 2 weeks ago, okay, and that was you're Ohio, yeah. So yeah, it was. I pulled that up, then I remembered that Watchman Greg. I saw that earlier, and I have to look at that again. Kim's Coffee Talk just finished voting here in Woodstock at 7 p.m. Great turnout, it seemed. It did look like that. And then the runoff is Jackson, for the governor. It's going to be between Jones and Jackson. Raffensperger was now Burt Jones is at the podium speaking. There's going to be a lot of money spent on this one. A lot of money spent. There's already been tons of money. Get ready, Miss Kim. In Woodstock, you're going to get all them flyers. They're all going to be coming in. I saw that earlier, Watchman, and I don't remember what I saw on that one. Sorry, I had the screen covered up. And as I was looking through different states and different races, not really any shockers of what I've seen, but these huge primary fields is causing runoffs across Georgia. There's a few ones that they've just slammed it. But holding my nose. Jackson up there. He's kind of goofy. I don't know about this guy. I've had a lot of people ask me about him. I didn't vote for him. And a lot of people said, well, Jones has got baggage, but I did vote for him. Anybody but Raffensperger, right? I'm going to get in trouble. Then I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. I hope you're doing well, Miss Kim and James. I don't know if you're still out there. I know you're busy, man. I'm sorry I missed that. I appreciate you coming in. I need more screens. I'm just trying to cover as much of this. I love elections. I really do. I don't love what a lot of times what politics does, but I do love to keep up with what's going on in these races. I think it's pretty interesting when you look at those different things. And here is that another race that is interesting to me. Let me pull this back up on the screen. Is this race in Georgia? And it's the Mike Collins one. I voted for Mike Collins. He doesn't have enough. Dooley has edged in there and got into second place. Buddy Carter, I thought Dooley would be third in this. It's very close, but it looks like there's still some places to bring in. It could change, but honestly, he's got 10,000 point almost lead. It's going to be the runoff is between Collins and Dooley. I think Collins trounces him. Honestly, I really do. I don't see the Carter folks voting for Dooley. I just don't. I could be wrong. I don't see that happening. What say you, Miss Kim, if you're still out there? And then there's that tight race between Jackson and Jones. There's nobody in range, but nobody could get enough because of all these people like Raffensperger and Chris Carr who are running in that. Be running against Miss Bottoms. And this lieutenant governor has stayed pretty much the same. I voted for Steve Gooch. I didn't think he would win, but I like Steve Gooch, and we'll just have to look at. Blake Tillery spent a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. I've seen his name more than anybody else. Anybody else, not even close. And he's sitting at almost 19%. So he'll not be in because there it is. That's the one, Watchman, you were looking at. And so he actually is in second. So Tillery, with all that money spent, is out right now in the runoff. And I don't think that's going to change. You look at those vote totals. I don't see that changing. Tillery went after it hard. I've seen so many ads. Outside of the governor's race and maybe one other, this is the one I heard about the most. The governor and maybe this might be I've seen tons. Every time I'd watch a show, Tillery was on the commercial. Every single stinking time. So yeah. On to it. So voted for Mike Collins. Is that who you're saying? So, and as you know, Miss Kim, you do not get back but a small percentage of those voters. So they're going to be targeting. I mean, it's going to be hot and heavy in those races. I mean, you're fighting. It may be a little more because it's midterm stuff. But honestly, traditionally, I don't think but about 3 to 6% turn back out for a revote. It's very low. It might be a little more for this one. I'll put it up there. If 10% show up, I'd be surprised, but I'd be glad. But it's, got to get back up there and vote. So how'd you like all them questions, Miss Kim? I mean, man, why does it always have to be so many? I mean, I don't guess it matters that much either way, but why does it have to be 10? I mean, it's always like 10 or 12, and you're sitting there reading through. I've always previewed the, I just think that's a put off to a lot of voters. I'd say a lot of those. I know it's not a vote. It's a survey. I say a lot of people don't even check those. They vote for, print that ballot and send it on. I do vote for them, let my voice be heard, but it drives me absolutely crazy. Yeah, I mean, wears you down. I mean, you're sitting there like reading, and then sometimes they word them so very confusing. Like you think it's a positive thing, but it's really a negative. Some politicians will be honest with you about that. Others will not. Hey, Miss Kim, I want to ask you, and I know you're busy, but we're doing this thing called First Live, and it's recorded. It's not anything. It's very flexible with it. I would love for you to come. And what we do is we take a scripture or a couple of scriptures, and you could even bring the scripture, and we just record. It's no more than 15 minutes. I'd love for you to do one of those with us. and we just talk about the verse and what it means to us, and anything and everything about it you would like. If you ever have some time with that, I would love to do that. We do those Monday through Friday. I'd love for you to be a part of that. I would really love to hear what you have to say about it. You don't have to. I'm not leaning on you. I don't have Vic or Sal coming to Woodstock, but if you feel led to do that by the Lord, we just want different voices, and we have loved it. It has been such a blessing. They air at 5:30. They're recorded. They air at 5:30 every morning, and we're having a ball with it. But if you get a chance and you feel like it, I would love for you to do that. We want to. Life is tough, and get real about it. Sometimes people, I just lost my wife, so it's a great challenge. I think it's helping me. I know, it is so hard, but I really do love what we're doing with that. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there, fishing. And James, if you're still around, you may not be. I know you're a busy man. We appreciate you, brother. Love you. Appreciate the kind words and stuff. I like your shows and stuff when you're Killer Carl and all that. Who still should be on Rumble. I'll say it. But I did enjoy getting in there the other night. And Big Tony and all the others. Great folks. Enjoy that. And I seen that you're back, Miss Kim. I got to get over and watch some morning and catch you. What I need to do is shift my time so I can just watch more of you. That's what I need to do. It's the only bad thing about being live is you miss a lot of people's other lives, and I try to get over and watch those. I do. Appreciate that very much. Your friendship. So yeah, all the West Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, we won't be seeing anything on those till really late because the polls are still open till 10 o'clock. In places like Idaho, that's got a big race going on. Some of them have not had theirs yet, but Oregon is up, Idaho is up there, Nebraska is also one that's being decided tonight on the primary. So look late for a lot of those results to come in. You'll definitely be hear news about that. So we're going to stay on for a few more minutes. I think we've got the gist of what was going on with some of these. I think all the ones that were they're either winners or they're runoffs, and it's already done. There's it's not going to change. What could change is who runs against the other, because there's a couple that's pretty close. I think it's pretty settled now. I don't think. I guess the biggest news of the night is that Massey lost. Oh, we'd love to have you. I don't know if you have my email, but seriously, you take 20 minutes and we just come in, we kind of get ready, we start the music, we pop up, and we just start talking about scripture. But I would like for you to bring one, and we'll bounce off of that. You can send it to us ahead of time so we know where you're going to go. But I want a diversity of thought, and it's all backgrounds. I'm not previewing it, but just people I really think a lot of. Some are in ministry, some are not. Some are just going to be average Joes that are fighting every day out there. It's just all kinds of people that have fought in addictions and they're winning the battle right now. It's going to be a lot of people. We're lining up some people, but I'd love for you to be a part of that. James, you as well. I know, James, you said you're not a believer, but you've been searching. I'd love for you to join us one day and just say what it means to you. That's what it's all about. So, but I would love that. But yeah, Massey lose. So a lot of crying today. I guess some people said, Massey's going to have to run for something else. I can't wait, though. It's going to be big. And I don't know if I'll be working with elections by November or not. I'm going to decide that. I've took a break and with the bad health, and then when my wife passed, and I wasn't going to do this one. I wasn't even nowhere prepared to do that. And I may wait until the following year and just start out the year. But maybe if they need me, I think I'll be ready to go by October when the early voting starts. That gives me some months to kind of be ready, but I'll make a decision on that later. Also, want to announce, and I said it this morning, in about a couple of weeks, we're going to have a show about organ donation. I've got, I just got some things I want to share. and it's not to try to influence anybody. And I told Broski this morning, but I've made the decision not to be one, and I've got reasons for that. And I just want to get people's opinions and what it means to them. And it's not looking for an argument or anything like that. It has to do with some things with my wife and some things with some other things that I'm struggling with about it. And, changes come to your life. Sometimes you change your view about stuff. Not major stuff, maybe, although I'm not saying that's not major. I've just decided not to be, and I'm not asking anybody else to join me. I'm not starting the torches and the dogs and go out and chase people down. No, but I do want to discuss the issues. And I did that years ago, and I always, hey, you should be an organ donor. But things happened the night my wife died that really disgusted me. And then I read some stuff. I was telling Broski today, I read some stuff that really made me think as a Christian, made me think deeply. And I was settled. I was at work, sitting at my desk, and I said, that's it. I say no. And I'm putting that right out front when we do the show. That's I'll make my little paragraph of why at that time. And I'm giving my reasons for it. And then just have discussion about it. What is that? Why do people do it? I think there's a lot of peer pressure to do that. They try to make you feel bad. In Georgia, you save money in your license. I could care less about that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit because that was brought up, or not the difference, but I brought it up. Thank you, Miss Kim. So, great life. So many memories. I do a daily story about my wife, usually funny, touching stories that nobody knows. And people tell me they love them. I do that on Facebook. It's under my name, but it has the podcast name on it. And people love those. They said, keep doing them. And I do a daily on that. And sometimes share a picture, but of me as a nerdy looking youth. I got a great family. It's hard though. I won't lie. It's hard. And, every show, as you see on the scroll, is dedicated to her. Is you know what? I wouldn't have been here without her. I wouldn't have been doing this. She supported this in every way. You can't do something without supporting your spouse. We were never divided on it. We always supported each other, which I think husbands and wives do. We have logical discussion, but if somebody has a dream, you never squash that dream. If my wife wanted to do something, I was always supportive of that. Because I always say, you get one shot through this life. Don't leave things laying there that you wanted to do. And so she saw what it meant to me, and she never wanted to be on the show. Yes, I think it is, Miss Kim. It's a great conversation. I've asked a guy to come on that wrote an article that really impacted me a lot. I don't know that he will, but I am going to reference his stuff because he made some great points. And and I've been concerned for some time about the big business of organ. I mean, we know there are bad things going on across this world. People are stealing organs. It happens here in America too. That's one side of it, but there's a whole nother side where these people are, there's just bad things going on. And I'm concerned. I really am. When you're on that, I've dealt with them. I don't trust a lot because I've dealt with it. I've seen people trying to push people over the cliff and trying to force families, intimidate families into making decisions before they were ready. It happened to us. And I told them to go take a hike. And sadly, and I know they're not always really considered godly. Sometimes chaplains are involved with that. And and this whole thing is going to be a part of that. There's tentacles to this. And I have been ticked off for several years about things that was said about my mom, and I fought many battles with that. And even with my wife, I think everybody did a really good job. I stayed right there, and I made sure my wife did not do the form they wanted her to do in any way. I think she was with Jesus when it all happened by the time, it was all said and done. But they did a great job. But I didn't realize there's some, according to what I read, there's, how it is. We hear that term fuzzy mouth. There's also fuzzy language. Sometimes people say things and they reword something to make you think, to help you make a decision, but they're playing with, it's word salad. It's word salad. I don't trust them. It ticks me off. And I think good people are called their most vulnerable. And I want to make my wishes well known, and be ready for my kids and stuff. But I've talked to my family a lot about this. It really hit me pretty hard. I never would have thought. And really what happened was, I've already been concerned about the organ stealing, and I know my experiences was because healthcare is big business. We know that. Big pharma, hospitals, it's all big business. There's a lot. And my buddy, one of my great friends in life, he was in the Army, and he says it this way. I won't use his name because I'm going to quote something he said, and I didn't get his permission, but I like what he says. And he tells people that come to our company, he says, I was in the Army. He said, not everybody in the Army cares about you. In fact, they don't even know you, and they don't care, maybe. He said, but there are people in the Army that do care for you. He said, find those people, befriend them, because they'll be a great help to you. In that way, not the hospital, those people don't know you. You're a number. They don't care. And I don't believe all their little commercials or whatever, but there are people within systems that are great people, and they go above and beyond. There's also a bunch of snakes, a bunch of bad people, and they mess with these families' heads, and they try to force them into decisions. And we know why. One is for bed space. You need to let them go. Well, you got to be careful with that. You got to be dang careful with that. And I will say it. I was years ago, I was brought into the hospital on an invitation about end-of-life decisions as clergy. And I sat in the room, and they were trying to teach us or tell us that it was our responsibility. This is a major health chain. This ain't some little side clinic. This is a major across the country healthcare system. Was telling us as clergy, it was our duty and responsibility to help the families let go and basically tell them to make the decision. You need to let them go. You need to pull the machines off of them. Are you kidding me? That's not my job. My job as clergy is to comfort, pray with, and be there as that person in spiritual matters. My job is not to convince somebody to let go of their family member, but that's what they were trying to do to us. And I said, oh, crap, no. And they used the Terry Schiavo case as the case. And I'm sitting here going, as soon as I see them pull it up, I'm like, well, we're not going to get along today, because I think it was horrible what they did to Terry Schiavo. Horrible. I'll stand on that. I won't back off of it. And they do all these tests, and if you don't pass so many, then, they're like, well, they're never going to be. But there are people who have. Again, whether you let go or not, I'm not judging. What I'm saying is, when you're an organ donor, that clock's ticking for them. They're wanting to get in there, and they can't let them die. They got to keep them alive to get that stuff. And anyway, there's a lot of pressure tactics in that. There's a lot of people getting on the line saying, "Hey, we may have this, we may have that," and I don't trust them. I'll say it, and I'm not that kind of person. But I've seen the evil that men do, and I know how they've talked to me, and I know how I've had to stand up against them, and I've stood them all down, and I don't have a bit of problem with it. I've saw how they stood together and denied my mother, really, and God intervened. There's some stories I've shared them before. I'll share them again at some point, maybe a couple during the show, and but anyway, I feel very passionate about this. And I want to do it. It's going to be at least 2 weeks, no more than 3, and we'll announce it. And if you'd like to come on screen and come be a part, I'd love it. Me and Biscuit Boy are going to head it up, but we'd love to have guests. And I would just like to hear what people's opinions are and help flavor the discussion. And I'm not looking to change anybody's mind. I'm looking to give people information and tell them why I changed. And if that helps somebody, then it helps somebody. But to get the information out there. These are discussions people don't like to have sometimes, but it is important to do. And the other one that we're going to have, and I've got to talk to her, as soon as I go over, I got to pay the cemetery off because we only paid part of that. And we're waiting on money to come in. It's clearing. This week I've been going to the cemetery. I want to have her come in, the cemetery owner. And I don't know how it is across the country, but here in Georgia, there's ever since COVID, everything's changed. And I didn't realize that involving cemeteries and stuff. And I want to get her to come on and talk about, tell some stories about her cemetery. And it's a family-run operation. This is not a chain. This is a family-run operation. They're Christian and they are wonderful people. And I want her because she's very passionate about what she does, and she has a lot to say about insurance companies. In fact, she don't mince words. And I want to bring her on. I hope she'll come. I told her I wanted to have her on. And I said, I know it's a weird time to ask, but she said, I love podcasts. I said, well, I want you on one. So I said, you've taught me a lot. Your help has been invaluable. It was a very hard day, obviously, 2 days after my wife died. But my whole family went, wow. Wow. Really? I didn't know that. I mean, that's what you heard coming out of my family's mouth. Like, this is, I hate what's happened, but this has opened my eyes, and I need to be prepared, because apparently a lot of people didn't get paid off on money they paid in for a long time. A lot of people didn't get their money when the time came, and that's bull. But that's what you deal with. So trust only goes so far. I mean, show me the money, whatever you want to say. But those are some things in the near future I want to be talking about, and hope people stop by. Not for clicks, not for shares, not for numbers. I just want it to be a help, and it'll be out there and recorded if somebody wants to share it. But excuse me, I am still congested. But it's been fun to be on tonight. I think I will. I'll come on. I may come back on and do a sports show. The Braves got killed last night. Good gosh almighty, 12-0, was it? I may, depends on how I feel. If not, I'll see you in the morning. Remember, First Light will be on at 5:30. Cornbread Man morning show at 6 a.m. as long as I get my old self out of the bed on time. I was rushing this morning. I was sitting there playing on the internet. I said, whoa, I got to get moving. I have found out I can put the show up if nothing happens, which something always happens. It takes me to pull everything together about 10 minutes, honestly. Because if I do it any faster, I'll miss something. But really, I need about 15. That's if nothing goes wrong. Well, maybe only one or two things. Tonight, I think we were pretty good. So, but it happens. For y'all that are not on Rumble, if you're not on Rumble, what's wrong with you? Get a Rumble account. You can hold on to your Facebook and your YouTubes and all that. X, all the others, but get you a Rumble channel and follow these wonderful people, Kim's Coffee Talk and Empty Pockets Podcast. Wonderful people. Wonderful humans who have been put in our midst to be a blessing. They're funny, they're articulate, they're passionate, they're patriots, they're Christians, or have a strong opinion about faith, and they love America. They love family, and they'll love you too. Come and be a part of what they do. And many, many others like them. My good friend AC, angry conservative, don't want to miss him. Killer Carl, still out there, Killer Carl Radio. Not on Rumble, though. I think I've been listening to him on YouTube. And many, many others. I'll forget them off. I start trying to name them, but we appreciate y'all stopping by. I appreciate the kind words. There's just no way around how devastating and tough it is. But I think under the circumstances, I think me and my family are doing well. It's something we'll just deal with as we go. There's going to be hard days, we know. Me and my son are spending a lot. My oldest son, my youngest son, he's got to get out of prison. It's sad. It's so sad. I'm glad he got to come to the funeral. A lot of work there. God really blessed us. But me and my oldest son, we're going to go down to, by the way, for those that watch the Dirt Track series, Scooter Bang, Mark Scooter Bang. We got that, runs that race car down in Scottsboro, Alabama. He's got a nice restaurant down there. Me, my son, I think Biscuit Boy's going to go. We're going to zoom down there and eat at his restaurant, Scooters. And we may do a live from there on Friday afternoon. They're an hour behind us, so I don't know the time we'll get there yet. So I don't want to say a time. Just look for it. And maybe we'll get old Scooter on there. He's a funny guy. He's a great guy. He's got a big heart. He tells it like it is. He sure does. He don't beat around the bush, as they say. He goes right straight. We're going to be with him, hopefully. That's the plan. Friday afternoon, I've already told him we're coming. And we may do a couple of lives along the way at different sites and stuff. We'll see what the day holds. And then 2 weeks from Friday, we're going to the I-75 dirt track and check in. I don't know if Scott will be there on Friday night. I need to check in with him. We're going to go up to the Friday night I-75. I've never been there. And we're going to do a couple things from up the dirt track. Just get out, me and my son, do some things. Maybe others will tag along. And pray for my sons and grandchildren and extended family. It has been so very tough. You know, my wife was such a glue in the family. And it reminds me of when my grandmother passed away. It really does. She was such – our family was never the same. It's still a close family, but we never had the reunion stopped. I think they tried to get one together. But she was always – all the reunions were about her, you know. And we got to make sure it don't happen with this. I told my granddaughter, I said, we're going to really decorate for Christmas, because my wife was really into Christmas decoration. And this last year or so, it's been tough. We didn't do as much this December because she was very sick. We did a little bit, but I said we got to do it for her, and they're all excited about that. So appreciate all the kind words, prayers, support, and others. I know so many have lost their spouses recently, sadly, children and the like. And you never get over it. I mean, you just learn to press on. Press on, as the song says. It won't be very long, and we'll be with the Lord. And she loved the Lord. So all shows dedicated to her. And I'll have to get a picture and hang it up in here. She'll be on the wall. And I will say, you know, you hear people say it. And I've said this forever, not because it's now what's happened, but if two things, I've said this forever on this podcast. Number one, if you and somebody are in an argument, not getting along, be the bigger person. Just try to close it down as best you can, but don't leave it being an argument. Just agree to disagree, but don't let somebody pass while you're arguing, because at the end of the day, you won't, in 1,000 years, not going to remember what the argument was about, no matter how important it was. But you are going to remember that person if they pass and you're not having, you know, if you're not getting along. That hurts. I know people it's happened to, and they always say it, right? Don't miss a day of telling somebody how much they mean to you. You know, you may not tell everybody every day, but the people that's close to you around every day, don't ever forget to tell them that you love them, because you don't ever know. I mean, we didn't know it was going to happen that day. We had times to communicate that day. It was hard to communicate with her. She couldn't talk anymore. But we had a peaceful day, and she went to be in Jesus' arms very peacefully. And I am so very thankful for that. I didn't want to see her suffer. And she suffered now, but we sure do miss her. Hey, I'm the cornbread man. You know, Angry Conservative gave me that name. It's stuck, and I like it. So the cornbread man is going to get out there and go spend some time with his granddaughter. Speaking of that, appreciate you all checking in. About elections are very important. This is just preparatory to the big one. We'll have the big show in November, and we'll get some people lined up to help and try to be really organized for that. And some of these major races, and really stay on top of those. And don't forget to vote. If you're not signed up, get signed up and go vote. There's a lot of dead soldiers in foreign graves who they'd appreciate that they died for something, some freedom, and they gave you that. So salute to our soldiers. Let's pray for those in the Middle East. We don't know what's going to happen. Now they're calling for the assassination of President Trump, J.D. Vance, according to what the news was saying. I mean, this thing's getting uglier and uglier, and we need something settled there. But if they want to mess around and find out, I guess they'll just have to find out. I mean, if that's what it's going to take, you know, it just amazes me. So anyway, take care. God bless. We'll go off with a little bit of music, and thanks for your support. Give us a like, follow, share, and we appreciate you so very much. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Patriot Nation News. PNN. Morning breaks, we turn it on. Top stories coming fast. most, we bring you more. Stay with us, stay in the loop. Straight talk, clear view, one place for the story, one voice for the truth. Patriot Nation News, PNN, we bring it through. Patriot Nation News, what you need right now for you. Patriot Nation News, hear it loud, clean and true. PNN, PNN, Patriot Nation News. Voices rise, the facts roll in. Every angle, every win. City halls and highway miles. Real lives, real news, real time. Stay with us, stay in the loop. Straight talk, clear view, one place for the story, one voice for the truth. Patriot Nation News, PNN, we bring it through. Patriot Nation News, what you need right now for you. Patriot Nation News, hear it loud, clean and true. PNN, PNN, Patriot Nation News. When the day gets loud, we cut through the crowd. When the feed runs wild, we keep it straight and style. Patriot Nation News, PNN, we bring it through. Patriot Nation News, what you need right now for you.